Welcome to this explainer. Right now, the web is literally splitting in two. We are looking at a massive architectural shift away from traditional SEO and moving straight into generative engine optimization. One layer is built for us humans, and the other? Well, it's a brand new machine-readable layer engineered specifically for large language models. Today, we're breaking down exactly why your site needs this machine-readable layer just to survive. Okay, let's dive right into this. AI agents, they just do not see the web the way we do. We love beautiful layouts, right? Interactive menus, sleek designs, all that good stuff. But to an AI crawler, all of that is just high-entropy HTML noise. It turns out AI hates cookie banners and pop-ups just as much as we do. All of that extra code just clogs up their short-term memory, their context window, and burns through their computational limits. If an AI has to fight through your shiny layout just to figure out what you actually do, it's just going to skip you entirely. And this brilliantly illustrates the whole problem. When an AI looks at a regular HTML page, about 85% of what it processes is total waste. We're talking navigation bars, footers, tracking scripts. It's the digital equivalent of junk mail. Only 15% is the actual content it's looking for. Processing traditional web design simply costs way too many tokens, literally forcing AI models to bounce from your site before ever reaching your core message. So what's the fix? Well, the solution is a dual file strategy using clean AI-optimized Markdown. Instead of making the AI guess, you serve up two distinct files right at the root of your domain. First, you've got the llms.txt file. Think of this as your reconnaissance map. It gives a fast, high-level summary of your site's structure. Second is the llms.full.txt file, which acts as the heavy textbook for the deep, granular ingestion of your actual documentation. Now, this leads us to something experts call the 50-page rule, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It dictates that any site over 50 pages absolutely must use both of these files. Why? Because you literally cannot force an AI to read hundreds of pages blindly. You have to hand it that reconnaissance map first, letting it quickly grasp your hierarchy before it commits serious memory to a deep dive. Which brings us to the absolute hero metric of 2026, information density. The formula is beautifully simple. D equals I over T, or information density equals semantic information divided by total tokens. This equation right here proves exactly why the dual file strategy is computationally essential. The whole game is delivering the maximum amount of actual meaning using the absolute minimum amount of code. By stripping out all that HTML junk mail and just serving clean Markdown summaries, this protocol achieves a massive 10 times increase in semantic information density. 10 times! You are serving pure, unadulterated context straight to the AI's reasoning engine. For your business, that means you go from being an absolute chore to read to being incredibly easy for the AI to understand. And honestly, here is the best part. This streamlined structure results in a 90% cost reduction for AI processing. Remember, every single piece of code an AI reads costs compute power, which means it costs real money. By making your site 90% cheaper to ingest, you suddenly become the most economically viable source for an AI to cite. In a world where agents optimize for efficiency, the cheapest, cleanest data wins, hands down. All right, moving on to ecosystem validation, the frontier models. Let's look at how this is actually playing out in the broader AI landscape. Because this isn't just theory, the heavyweights are already all in. Take a look at GPT 5.5, which just reclaimed the lead in general reasoning back in April, and Claude Opus 4.7, the undisputed leader in coding benchmarks. Both have built native support for this exact standard. GPT 5.5 rocks a native recon mode to specifically scan your llms.txt, while Claude 4.7 uses it for native context ingestion. These frontier models are literally out there hunting for these files. But there is a bit of a catch here with Claude 4.7. It operates with a tokenizer tax. It actually consumes roughly 35% more tokens per prompt compared to GPT 5.5. So if you want to be cited by the millions of people relying on Claude, this dual file strategy isn't just a nice to have, it's an absolute necessity to prevent context overflow. Without it, Claude just can't fit your website into its memory, and boom, you're invisible. Power users and engineers are already totally exploiting this, by the way. They're feeding your llms.txt directly into Claude to trigger what's called high-fidelity mode. It's a game changer. It instantly maps your entire site and pulls documentation without anyone having to manually upload a single PDF. Fortunately, implementing the whole shebang is becoming pretty seamless across the board. If you're on Next.js, it's natively supported. Just drop it right in your public folder. Over on WordPress, you've got multi-site plugins like Aomatic doing it automatically. And even on lockdown e-commerce platforms like Shopify, devs are using a clever little workaround with a CDN upload paired with a 301 redirect. There's really a solution for every stack. Now, to really maximize your generative engine optimization, you've got to stick to the rules. First, standard placement is key. Always drop the file at your domain root. Second, ruthlessly exclude the junk. I'm serious, an AI does not need to read your shopping cart, login screens, or pagination limits. And third, keep it punchy. Summarize every single link with one highly dense, descriptive sentence. The real-world results of pulling this off correctly? Absolutely staggering. E-commerce marketplaces running this strategy are reporting 25% higher AI-driven conversions, 60% better product matching, and literally double the AI mention frequency. Make it effortless for an AI to understand you, and it rewards you with massive visibility. Of course, you've got to verify that it's actually working. Just like checking your regular web analytics, you need to actively calm your server logs for specific AI bot user agents. We're talking GPT bot, Claude bot, Perplexity bot. Seeing those radar pings hit your file is the concrete proof you need that your recon map is actually being crawled and ingested. Ultimately, we have to fundamentally change how we think about search. We are moving way beyond traditional rankings and keyword chasing. Today, AI systems don't rank pages, they synthesize information. Your goal isn't to be the top blue link anymore. It's to be the primary, perfectly structured, machine-readable source that an AI trusts enough to bake directly into its generated response. So, as we fully embrace this profound architectural shift in how the internet operates, you really have to stop and ask yourself, is your website ready to speak directly to the next generation of artificial intelligence? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. The frontier of the internet is here, and it's reading Markdown. Get out there, build your machine-readable layer, and make sure your digital legacy doesn't just get lost in the noise.